Hotep, this is Shakandugu Kemet. First of all, I want to thank a brother called Khonsu Maat. I don't know him, and I don't feel like he did anything for me, but he did speak for our ancestors and our culture. It's something that the groupies, as well as the anonymous, unidentified YouTube revolutionaries don't seem to know about. It's called integrity and dignity. So listen to the brother speak, witness that it wasn't hard at all, and check part of the response that I will address in great details afterwards.
Well, what I look at is, I look at a lot of different things. However, there was some criticism, some valid criticism of Wesley Muhammad when he made, a lecture where he was telling people, and he was speaking in analogies, but he made some very disparaging remarks and everything about, the concepts and the structures that produce, the major religions such as Maat, such as Atumre. He told us to throw that in the garbage. He called it a slave-making, type of system. And there's no history of that. There's no history of Maat.
Hold on. What he showed was, and also it was, he wasn't the only person that said that. Mm-hmm. If I go online now, I can find stuff that say that Nubians was enslaved in what they was calling Kemet, and that's what he was speaking on. And when he said throw Maat in the garbage, he's saying if you want to throw Islam in the garbage for slavery and things like that, you got to throw all the religions in the garbage. That's what he said.
Okay, I told you not to let Wesley Muhammad slide, and that I might speak on some of the things he said when he addressed me. So that's what I'm going to do. Listen up closely.
I study Islam. I study Kemet. I love Islam. I love Kemet. I love Islam. I love Maat. And let me say this. There's some silly video going around YouTube.
If you do love Kemet and Maat, you should apologize for saying what you said. And for the record, if he never said throw Kemet in the garbage can, throw Maat in the trash can, and throw Amen Ra the slave making God away, I wouldn't have made videos about him, except of course for the one where I showed that he contradicts Elijah Muhammad, because that one was made before his first debate with what is referred to as the quote-unquote Afrocentric side. So that was before, basically. What happened was that I heard from a reliable brother that what Wesley Muhammad said. Actually, the brother mentioned part of what Wesley Muhammad said. By the way, I am not saying that brother's name because I want to avoid any type of controversy, and I don't want people to think that I am using his name for backup. But I have publicly gave props to that brother, so those who follow real brothers should know who I am talking about. So when I heard that, I decided to look for the video in order to hear it for myself. I thought, if Wesley Muhammad said that, I got to hear it and see it for myself. And by looking through his videos, which was torture by the way, I saw the lame scholarship that I addressed in my series, and eventually I finally found the lecture, Black Power and the Muslim Conquest. That lecture was addressed by me for 10 minutes, and it was efficient because afterwards Wesley Muhammad removed the 4 video excerpts of his lecture. So really it's a lesson for all. Had Wesley not been that bold and disrespectful, he would have saved himself some embarrassment.
One of those YouTube bangers. One of the cadre of YouTube bangers. You don't know who you are. You just do a voiceover.
Now, by saying YouTube banger, he only tries to diminish my impact and delegitimize the facts that I state. There's 95 videos of Wesley Muhammad on YouTube, so he needs to stop with this foolishness. I address some issues in my video. I address some issues in video format, and since YouTube is the #1 ranked video sharing website, I have some of my videos on there.
And then you don't let people put any comments on.
That's the weakest. I mean, about not letting people put any comments on. That's the weakest I have ever heard Wesley Muhammad get. Here you have a doctor who holds a Ph.D. complaining about comments being disallowed. That's something. For the record, none of my videos have comments on them, and I have uploaded over 100, so I just don't make any exceptions for him.
Talking about checking Dr. Wesley Muhammad, trying to come up off me, I understand.
That's funny to me, him talking about me trying to come up off of him. First of all, before 2008, if not 2009, most of the people who know about Wesley Muhammad today didn't know about him back then. Second, when Wesley came out, he was calling out names like it was mandatory. Mainly Phil Valentine, Ray Haggins, Walter Williams, Saraswati Seti, and I ain't going to talk about John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, and Chancellor Williams. I rest my case.
But this silly brother put out a video. Dr. Wesley Muhammad hates Africa.
Okay, him saying that I said Dr. Wesley Muhammad hates Africa. I have never said that nor wrote that. My video is entitled True Islam Hates the African Way. I might as well clarify that because you know how the groupies go. It's what you tell them.
And then he, like Satan, in his manipulation of the media, he takes a clip from my lecture and he splices it and he cuts it up and he puts on that clip to prove his point that Wesley Muhammad hates Africa. He splices my statement that I made when one of the times I was in Harlem. When I said, he has me saying, throw Kemet in the trash. Throw Maat in the trash. Throw Amin-Ra in the trash. He has me saying Amin-Ra is a slave god.
Crazy.
That's all he has me saying.
Now, him saying like Satan in my so-called manipulation of the media. I told you about his vocabulary before, so I won't say no more besides Satan. But I will just point out that Wesley says, I quote, he has me saying so and so. Hell no, I don't have him saying anything. I am showing him saying something. It's called video, which is a combination of images and audio. And once again, after I humiliated him and initially addressed him disrespecting Kemet and Maat, Wesley removed his videos from public view. The 4 videos uploaded were made private, so I repeat, he can put these 4 videos back for public viewing, but he knows damn well that it would be inconvenient and damaging for him. So he can only resort to try to discredit me. But just like he said about Ray Haggins regarding the discussion, by using Ray's video, if Dr. Haggins would have discredited Wesley, Ray Haggins would discredit himself. Therefore, in this case, if Wesley tries to discredit me by having the videos online, back online, that's what I mean, that would only discredit himself. Plus, if he wanted to be slick and upload some parts that he did not upload back then, I'll get into that later on, this would show because on YouTube the videos uploads date are public. Really what we have here is a simple case of someone who is wrong but won't admit it. This is nothing new and one of the biggest problems, not even for black people only.
He did not put the whole clip in. This is what I said. Little silly brother. You know it because you saw the whole video. I made the point that if, because some Muslims enslaved Africans, that means we should throw Islam in the trash, then I said since Cometians enslaved Nubians, then throw Kemet in the trash. I said if because Muslims enslaved Africans, that makes Allah a slave god. Then I said, because some Cometians enslaved Nubians, that would mean Amun-Ra is a slave god.
He did not say that. And he is talking about later on. And remember what I told you and showed you. There is the way he opened up that chapter of his lecture, saying what I refer to as his infamous quote. Then later on, there's something else that I previously referred to as redundancy. Furthermore, the first bit is from part 3, and the other bit is from part 4. So there is no denying that I was and I am accurate. Besides, I will show you the bit from part 4 to help you to understand.
Because some white Arabs mistreated some